Welcome back to Comics, the podcast where we look at two comic books each week, and we're looking at another facsimile of a Marvel comic, Uncanny X-Men 135, and this is during the Dark Phoenix saga, and it is like some of our previous choices because she's destroying the title.
Oh, yeah.
And I was wondering if this was the first time that the title got destroyed. It's issue 135. And I've read like the first 30 or so of Uncanny X-Men, and I took a break because it's not as good in its first form before Chris Claremont takes over. Yeah, the first it goes for a few years, and then they discontinued it, and then a good number of the issues are reprints until Giant Size X-Men. They like rebooted it with Wolverine and Storm and Colossus and Warpath. So this is after that, and I was wondering, is there any earlier Uncanny X-Men where they destroy the cover? I think we already looked at a Cyclops one where he blows up the logo, and there's a couple of other ones.
Is there one where Wolverine
slashes through it? Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
That might be his book too.
So this is a recent facsimile, but it's originally published in 1980. And so it says, "Witness the birth of a god, Dark Phoenix. Her name is Jean Grey, a young woman of extraordinary beauty, strength, courage, passion, a superpowered mutant telepath / telekinetic, a charter member of the Uncanny X-Men. None of that has changed, and yet everything has changed." So, and we have a Boots ad, the saga of Johnny
West. Look at
One day after school, looks like a job for Johnny West. "Scram, kid, I'm borrowing your horse."
Yeah, right.
Why does that kid have a horse anyway? He's wearing his Acme boots. He keeps an eye out for kids in trouble. "Gee, Johnny West, I wish I could stand up to trouble like you do." "You can by standing proud in Acme boots."
No, you gotta tuck your boots, because bullies don't tuck.
"You bet. Acme's making the great Western boots." Wow, Acme boots. Some good dialogue. The next day, it's a different story. "Wow, how did you scare that big creep off?" "Thanks, Johnny West. Acme wins again. I guess his boots scared him off because he tucked his jeans in.
It's a really dynamic panel for Acme wins again."
Yeah, he's walking off into the sunset. He doesn't have his own horse, I guess.
That kid took it the day before.
So let's see. This is Chris Claremont and John Byrne working together. And this has some really good John Byrne art in it.
Ooh, yeah, it does.
And we kind of get an introduction to the various superpowers. So this is your first issue. It's kind of cleverly reminding us what the characters can do without being too blatant about it.
Yeah, sometimes it's a little much.
So she's blowing up their jet, and apparently the last couple issues, Nightcrawler says, "9, not another aircraft destroyed." So I guess this isn't the first Blackbird to blow up recently. And in fact, I think we read that Christmas issue with Kitty Pryde.
Yes.
Where that monster's chasing her. I think she blows up. So maybe she uses the jet's thrusters to kill the creature or something. But they really work that jet into a lot of the... They must be really wealthy if they can keep replacing those jets.
I know. They must have a garage that just makes jets.
So this is kind of silly. This is, it's like introducing the characters here. Colossus, while he's plummeting, is thinking, "A fall from this height will not harm my armored form. I will land first so that I can either help catch the others or try to stop Phoenix if she attacks us again. What has happened to Jean, though? What could have caused this terrible transformation?" I like how he's thinking that as he plummets into the earth.
And blows up.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's remaining calm as he's
wow.
Getting embedded in the earth.
And all Nightcrawlers think is, "Ouch."
Well, yeah, he says Storm's the only one who can fly, and she can't carry us all. I'll have to teleport down. With a crack of flame and the gusting stench of brimstone, Kurt Wagner disappears to instantly rematerialize a few feet above the ground. It isn't the most gentle of landings. Storm and Wolverine, she catches Wolverine, which he must be heavy because he's got adamantium-laced bones.
Right, and then Colossus. I
I
mean,
know.
as if he's fleshy, he's probably not as heavy, but he lifts weights.
Oh, yeah, Cyclops is the only one without a ride, and Dark Phoenix is chasing him here. So they do like a. So Storm is holding Wolverine, and then Wolverine holds Cyclops. It's like Storm must be so strong. I guess she could like manipulate the wind to give her some
lift
or something. But so Storm casts like weather at the Dark Phoenix to distract her, but it only works for a minute. It says, "I've done my best, Cyclops, but I fear it will only be a brief respite. Thanks, both of you. Colossus, Nightcrawler? We are well, Cyclops. We're alive anyway. Figures we get away from the Hellfire Club with our skins intact, only to get trashed by one of our own. Oi flipping vey." Nightcrawler Jewish? I don't know.
Yeah, I think he is.
Suddenly, yours was an admirable ploy, Storm, but escaping me won't be that easy. Why are you attacking us? For pity's sake, Jean, why? Ask not for pity from Dark Phoenix, my love. There is none in her. She strikes like the angel of death, terrible in her unhuman beauty, as elemental as majestic as stars in the heavens.
Wow. So this is before they know what's going on. She just turns?
Well,
or has the professor prepared them?
The last couple of issues, she was manipulated by the Hellfire Clubs. They brainwashed her because they wanted to use the Phoenix for some prophecy or something, and now she's rebelled against them. And Colossus picks up this big tree. I must remember, despite her actions, Phoenix is no villain, but our dear friend. We wish to help her. If I can tangle her in these branches of this tree, you'll ensnare no one, Colossus, save perhaps yourself. Lennon's ghost, he says. And she has the power to make him revert back to his human form. She telekinetically transformed me back into my human self. I'm no longer strong enough to hold this tree.
Wow.
Hang on, Petey, I'll get you out of there. No, you won't, Wolverine. Cripes, Genie changed the tree into solid gold.
What?
It must weigh tons. Oof.
She's overpowered.
Yeah, so now she's telepathic, she's telekinetic.
She can transform things.
She can make matter different.
Who has that ability? Elemental Man. Kind of.
Yeah, I guess. That's her Phoenix power, I think, is to transmute matter or something. Jean, no more, I beg you. We are friends. Let us help you, please. It is too late for help, Aurora, for me, for you, for the universe. And Dark Phoenix has no friends. She was like this when she saved the universe. That was way back in X-Men 108.
Yeah, okay.
22 issues, so that's like almost 2 years ago in comic time, and an issue a month.
Right.
But then her power was tempered by joy and love. There is no joy, no love in Dark Phoenix. I sense pain, great sadness, and an awful, all-consuming lust. Aye, Aurora, take your best shot. So not only are they way outclassed in power, Dark Phoenix can just read their thoughts and like subvert whatever they're trying to do in an instant. I'd rather end this quickly. What?
Franklin.
Yeah, Franklin would be powerful, but he's a baby at this time, so he doesn't know what he's doing. He can't control his powers yet, but he probably would be powerful enough. They liken her to Galactus in this one, Dark Phoenix, and I almost wonder if she's more powerful than Galactus.
Whoa.
She says, the Dark Phoenix says, for all your skill and power, Aurora, you haven't a prayer against me. I can pick your mind clean in the blink of an eye. Jesus. Know your plans the moment you think of them. My power defies comprehension. Storm! Images hitting me through my psychic rapport I share with Jean. Black flames consuming her soul. Mystical illusions I don't understand. Lost, drowning, alone. Cyclops, we're the only ones left. What can we do? Not a thing, Nightcrawler.
I like how they simplify everything when everybody's getting attacked and like really hurt.
Yeah, that's a cool panel.
Yeah.
So, she hits them 100 different ways at once, and the last two X-Men drop in their tracks. She doesn't kill them, but She doesn't really need to. That's like a trope in comics. They're like, I'm so powerful I don't even need to kill you.
Right.
I'm going to leave you alive so you can later defeat me unexpectedly. They do that a lot in Supernatural, I noticed too, where they're like,
Yes.
the number of times Sam and Dean get held by the throat by a demon or a monster, I'm like, that demon threw them across the room in one gesture, but their necks are so strong they can't be crushed by its grip. It's just part of the melodrama, I guess. I didn't want this, my dear ones, and yet it was something I had to do. By striking you down, I cut myself free of the last ties binding me to the person I was, the life I led. For a moment, the goddess mask slips, and Jean Grey's face shatters with a grief that transcends thought. But the moment passes, the humanity fades, perhaps forever, and only Dark Phoenix remains. You and I are quits now, X-Men. Our paths will cross no more. My destiny lies in the stars. She reaches for the sky, summoning the lightning, laughing as the awesome bouts of energy caress her body like a lover. We got another dual-page ad. There's like 3 double-page ads in this
Is that
one.
Conan?
Must be Conan. Red Sonja, I guess. I
What
gave
the
her
heck?
absolutely no clothes. Dracula. He's got his bell bottoms on. I don't know who that character is. Howard the Duck, Hulk, Mary Jane. I don't know why they would put Mary Jane in there. Well, maybe it's here.
Red Sonja, maybe.
Well, we've got the Savage Sword of Conan, the Hulk, Tomb of Dracula, Marvel Preview, Howard the Duck, and Crazy. I don't know Crazy.
No.
And Bubble Yum,
Bubble
which
Yum
loses its flavor immediately.
Yeah.
So we flash back to 5 minutes earlier. This is outside the Hellfire Club, and Sebastian Shaw is dealing with the aftermath of the X-Men escaping. The X-Men have just fled into the gale-swept night, a step ahead of the police units assembled to arrest them. And Jason Wingard and Harry Leland were both hospitalized. Jason Wingard or Weingard is Mastermind. I think he was one of the original Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. He can create illusions.
Oh, that's right. When he was dancing with Jean.
Yeah, we saw that a few episodes ago. That's right. The Dazzler. The
Dazzler episode, yes.
The first appearance of Dazzler, I think. So Sebastian Shaw's talking to Senator Robert Kelly, who's running for president. That's this sort of, if Reed Richards had puffier hair, I guess, kind of looking guy. And he, the gist of it is Sebastian didn't expect to be defeated by the X-Men. Robert Kelly doesn't know that Sebastian Shaw is also a mutant and part of the Hellfire Club. With a name like that, you think they would be kind of suspicious, but they're treated with respect. And Sebastian's suggesting, well, there is a way to subdue these crazy mutants with complete government oversight. Sentinels.
Is he the guy who brings up?
No, it's not. The Sentinels appear the first couple of years of X-Men.
Right.
And in their first appearance, they're not much taller than a regular person. But I think this is a point where maybe the Sentinels weren't being used, so they're going to bring them back eventually, I think is the idea. Into like the towering robots that you generally see, like the classic cover where Wolverine's getting blasted by one.
Yeah.
So he's, Sebastian Shaw's planting a seed. We need those Sentinels back. And the cops are like, what do you want us to do? Call the Fantastic Four, the Avengers? We can't go out into Central Park and fight the Phoenix. The X-Men can't even fight her. They see all this lightning. They're like, I guess Storm's the Weather Witch. This is her kind of stunt, but what's the point? The bolts are building in intensity, and then Phoenix!
Saints preserve us.
That's a cool
That's
panel
a really
of the Phoenix,
cool. Because it's obviously a Phoenix, but then you can kind of see a face in there. That's
I know.
kind of cool.
Another double-page ad.
Ooh, the black hole.
The NBC bottles can turn your room into a black hole.
I've been listening to Neil deGrasse Tyson, wondering if we're living inside of a black hole.
Gosh, I
It's
hope
interesting.
not. At that moment, this is one thing I like about this story is I like when they check in with the other Marvel Universe characters
Yeah.
when some big world-shattering event happens.
Do they feel it?
In the Baxter Building, Sheesh, Stretcho, I was just getting all nice and lathered up when you had to go hit the red alert. I wonder if he uses like a scouring brush to get in between his rock plates.
Ew.
What happened, Reed? Galactus step on Yancey Street or something? This is serious, Ben. I'm registering an energy reading of unbelievable proportions from someone whose power could rival that of Galactus. On Manhattan's west side, that Firebird image, the moment it appeared, my spider sense went crazy. In Greenwich Village, by Hoggith. He even thinks those. He doesn't just say by the hoary hosts of Hoggith. He thinks it in his head. I sense images of great mystic power, great passion, great evil. But
mystic power.
Meaning do they have for Doctor Strange? Yeah, I think, if I remember, the Phoenix is derived from like a gem in the Shi'ar Enterprise. It's some kind of, I think it's connected to some kind of artifact. And Jean was like a suitable host for it. I think later on they retcon this to be this isn't really Jean. So originally, the original Phoenix saga, Jean becomes the Phoenix to save everyone, and she's got like a green and yellow costume.
Right.
That's the traditional look of the Phoenix. The Dark Phoenix is the red one. She's like, I want people to tell that I'm evil, so I turn red. But originally, she sacrificed herself. I think Jean died.
And then Scott ends up with someone who looks just like her.
Madeline Pryor, who's the clone. Turns out to be a clone that Mr. Sinister made. But I think she's resurrected, like obviously the name Phoenix. So I think she had some Phoenix power when we saw her in the Dazzler issue of a couple months ago.
Right, yeah.
She had the green costume. So now she's evil. She's been manipulated to turn evil. And even the Silver Surfer notices on the edge of space. I don't know what he's doing on the edge of space. I didn't know space had an edge. Can it be? I sense a kindred soul. A child of the stars, so like the Silver Surfer, and yet not like me at all. She is human, flawed, and that flaw bids fair to destroy her. I must aid her if I can. For more of the Silver Surfer, see Epic Illustrated #1.
Remember what that one issue where Silver Surfer was sad because he didn't have friends?
Spidey, super stories, yeah. And he makes friends with Doctor Doom, of all people.
Oh, but yeah.
And they're like, what? Spidey, what if he's mean to us or something?
Yes.
So for more than a single Terran life hangs in the balance, left unchecked, this force could threaten the entire cosmos. But even as the Skyrider of the spaceways speeds round the globe, even as others become aware of her existence, the Phoenix bids farewell to her homeworld and soars spaceward to fulfill her malefic destiny. So this soon becomes a cosmic story.
Whoa.
As she lifts off, she just misses an Avengers Quinjet going the other way. Hey, that Firebird image I saw, that was Jean's Phoenix effect. And beneath it, the park's on fire. I'd better get down there fast. Without a false move or pause, the Quinjet drops to a landing near the reservoir. And who is it but Hank McCoy the Beast, who is at this point an Avenger.
Right.
But he knows his friends are in trouble. And he's like, I matched my fur to your costume. It's the same color, so we can be buddies. Scotty, it's Hank. I hear you, old buddy. Cough, cough. Throat raw, can hardly talk. I'm okay, see to the others. And shortly, mein Gott, that solid gold oak tree should solve New York's fiscal crisis for sure.
I was going to say, that'll cover the cost of your jet.
Yeah. Who are they going to sell it to? Guess they could just melt it down. And I guess the takeoff of the Dark Phoenix has made everything really hot because storms say my lungs clogged, difficult to breathe, also feel broiled. Otherwise, Cyclops, I am as ever ready for action. And Beast is strong, and he can help lift a solid gold oak tree. Yeah.
Move it, you two. I'm not holding this all night. Wow.
I like how his fur is kind of the same as Wolverine's. Like, Wolverine wishes he could have those kind of fur horns.
Well, that's why he wears the felt, his little felt hat.
So minutes later, they're all up in the Quinjet. Anyway, psych, instead of sounding an Avengers alert when I heard the police call about the X-Men, I erased the tape and came to see if I could help. It happened last issue. I guess once an X-Men, always an X-Man. Hank's hiding it well, but that choice is tearing him apart. He loves being an Avenger. I hope we can make it up to him.
That would be cool if they had Hank in the Avengers.
He is an Avenger now. He quit the X-Men. Yeah,
Yeah, but in the Marvel Cinema universe,
sure, in
that,
the MCU, that would be cool. You think they'd bring the Frasier version back?
oh, I do like that.
They should do a
version,
Frasier crossover.
The Beast sitting in his mid-century
He's
modern
getting
chair.
fur all over his Coco Chanel sofa. Let's turn our attention westward across the continent as the Quinjet arrows across the Bronx towards the X-Men's Westchester County headquarters to the New Mexico. Oh, I read it out. We're in the New Mexico mountaintop home of another former X-Man, Warren Worthington III, better known as the High Flying Angel. He probably just prefers to be called Angel.
Yes.
Hey, are you the High Flying Angel? Just Angel. Okay, High Flying Angel. So he's reading a tremendous burst of psionic energy. He's talking to Moira McTaggart as if someone had triggered a giant-sized psychic H-bomb. The effect passed quickly. I can confirm what you already suspect, Charles. The source was Jean. I think Phoenix is out of control.
Oh, boy.
And I guess at this point, Moira McTaggart is in a relationship with Banshee.
Yeah.
Sean Cassidy. He's a retired X-Man. So he was originally a villain. And in his first appearance, he looks wacky. I'll have to pull that
Yeah, I'd like
old,
to see that. Because even
he
in
almost
his-
looks inhuman. Like he looks like an alien or something. And then they retcon it like he looked like that for some weird reason, or it was a costume or something. And now he's just a regular Irish guy.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
Or Scottish? Yeah, I guess Scottish would be the...
Moira, yeah. Well,
I don't know.
Gaelic.
So over the past few hours, my remote scans show Phoenix power increasing along a geometric curve with no end in sight. She already dwarfs any mutant we've already charted. If you want a convenient buzzword description for her, cosmic fits the bill nicely.
Shoot.
Moira sounded terrified, and I've never seen the professor like this. Not so much scared as haunted. And so they need to return back to New York, to help out.
Try to deal with it.
He's got his Hulk pant turtleneck on. That's not going to help anybody. Her white eyes are creepy.
She's insane.
So she flies deep into space, and she, it says months ago, a lifetime ago, when her powers saved the universe, Jean Grey had a vision of herself as Tifereth. Heart and soul of the mystic tree of life, she was a dream representing the order and harmony of things. She was all that was great in us. But now the dream is twisted. She knows this, knows what she was, what she has become, and she does not care. What matters is that Dark Phoenix lives, and all creation is her domain to do with as she pleases.
Wow.
Meanwhile, aboard Starcore 1, a United Nations Sunwatch station, Phoenix's arrival in the vicinity has not gone unnoticed. It's interesting they don't put Phoenix as possessive with an S after it. They just put the apostrophe after the X.
Yeah.
Dr. Corbeau to the command deck. On the double. Dr. Corbeau, what's happening? I'm not sure. Some kind of energy beam, very small, incredibly powerful, vectoring sunward from the Earth.
Son, can you imagine?
Lock all sensors on it. I want a full-range scan. But even as the Nobel Prize-winning creator of Starcore yells his orders, Phoenix loops the sun, skimming its surface and using the slingshot effect to boost her speed 1,000-fold. By the time Corbeau finishes his sentence, she is shooting past Jupiter.
That's crazy.
And this is kind of disorienting. He strikes from outer space, cleaving through the sky like a fiery sword of justice, hurtling earthward on his dread mission of cosmic vengeance, and nothing can stop him.
Night.
Find him before he finds you. They make him sound so scary, but he's pretty lawful good. And
Yeah, he's absolutely
paladin.
lawful good. Yeah.
I guess they got to make it sound cool, but that's not actually a part of this story. It's just an ad
Wow.
for Raw,
Whoa.
blazing new paths of glory in the Marvel universe. Yeah, this is the part where they needed a reason to retcon Jean doing this for what will become obvious reasons. Because if she's gonna, the Dark Phoenix saga ends, spoiler alert, with her being killed again, because they gotta end her genocide. and then by the 90s or whatever, she's back and she's Jean, and they know Madeline Pryor was the Goblin Queen and she was Mr. Sinister and all this, but I think they retcon that this isn't actually Jean, but like a construct of Jean made by the Phoenix Force or something. And the reason they do that is because she does something really crazy that probably maybe besides Galactus or someone like that, no villain in Marvel has done anything this heinous before. She flies into another solar system sun and totally absorbs all of its power. And the sun like goes supernova or whatever. However, orbiting the star is a system of 11 planets. The fourth is inhabited by an ancient peace-loving civilization. On the planetary day side, they see the light first, the awful light of Armageddon, filling the sky from horizon to horizon 10 minutes after leaving the murdered star. She murdered the star.
Wow.
Many who see this light, the last thing they will ever see, are confused, frightened, and a very few who realize at once what has happened have time to curse cruel fate or make their peace with their God. Then they all die.
This little kid.
She kills 5 billion people.
Wow.
This is goofy.
nice.
We should try to get a copy of the Fun and Games magazine.
Oh, that would be, yeah.
I really get a kick out of Fun and Games, Spidey. Me too, Taranty. Taranty. I love those whacked out word webs. I wonder if they repurposed art, because I'm pretty sure there's a Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man cover with this exact image. And this is clearly a Jack Kirby. Is it a Jack Kirby? I think it's a Jack Kirby. Doom and Mr. Fantastic. Time's up, Doom. I got to get back to the Baxter Building. My Fun and Games arrived this morning. You know, Richards, it's so weird to see him use contractions, Doom. You know, Richards, every time I do a maze in Fun and Games, I think of you.
Oh, that's so
what a
creepy.
goofy ad. So the titles at this time in 1980, Amazing Spider-Man, Avengers, Battlestar Galactica, which we have a couple issues. Captain America, Conan, Daredevil, Dazzler, Defenders, Doctor Strange, Fantastic Four, Ghost Rider, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man, Machine Man, Marvel Premiere, Rom, Man-Thing, Marvel Team Up, Spotlight, 2-in-1, Master of Kung Fu, which I don't think we have any of those. Micronauts, which we have the full series, I believe. Power Man / Iron Fist. Savage She-Hulk. Shogun Warriors, I think we have 1 or 2 of those. Spider-Woman, Spectacular Spider-Man, Spidey Super Story, Star Trek, Star Wars, Thor, and What If, and X-Men, of course. And I think out of those, we have at least a few issues of almost everything on there, except for maybe Machine Man or
I'm trying to think of Machine Man.
I know we have some issues with him in it, but I don't know if it's his own title. So it says, following the light at a comparative snail's pace comes the heat flare. The instant it hits, the atmosphere and oceans on the day side boil away. The steam and superheated air whirling around the globe in a flaming shockwave that obliterates all in its path. Those few awake on the night side are treated to a spectacular once-in-a-lifetime aurora borealis before death claims them. But half the world dies in its sleep. They are the lucky ones. And in the center of the supernova she created, Dark Phoenix thrills to the absolute power that is hers. She is in ecstasy, yet she knows that this is only the beginning, that what she feels now is nothing compared to what she experienced within the great M-Cran crystal. That's the crystal I was alluding to back in X-Men 108. She craves the ultimate sensation, and she will pay any price to achieve it once more.
So they make her like an addict.
Pretty much. However, on the fringes of this doomed system appears a possible obstacle to her demonic quest. So, where does it mention then?
The Shi'ar?
Well, I could have swore they mentioned a specific number of people that she killed. I think it was 5 billion. Maybe it's yet to...
Jeez.
Oh, no. Maybe I got confused because it said, normally the star she absorbed could expect to live for another 6 billion years. And, nope. So she kills a whole planet.
But a whole planet.
Just like Galactus would. But just for thrills, I guess. She's absorbed. Well, it makes me wonder, why did she absorb our sun when she was flying by it?
She just
was she not
flew
trying
by and dipped her fingers in it and used it
she
to
used it to
boomerang.
slingshot her. I'm wondering, maybe she didn't know that there was that inhabited planet when she absorbed this star. Maybe it was just it was 5 billion manslaughters or whatever instead of murders. So, the Shi'ar vessel is like, what the heck's going on here? Unless something made it. They're thinking it's not a natural burning up of the star, but somebody's behind this. It's abnormal. So they magnify and see, of course, the dark phoenix here. Here it is. It is necessary. Badari was an ally of the Empire, science officer. 5 billion people exterminated by that thing. They must be avenged. So I guess Dabari is the planet. Badari, sorry, not Dabari. Badari was the planet she just snuffed out, and it was part of the coalition of the Shi'ar Empire.
This is great, his
they're
expression.
obligated to defend it, right?
Oh, absolutely.
5 billion people died. Another double page ad.
Jeez.
And so they start shooting. She's like, what the hell? They're shooting at me. So she flies through their wing, crippling the ship. And they're like, we need to get Queen Lilandra on the phone now. It would suck if you had a little pedestal that came out of the ground. You're in bed. You're like, what? I guess it's a good time, You got to get a hold of the queen.
Right, but geez.
My Lord Chamberlain, what's the matter? Minutes later, after a hurried explanation, Juber is one of the best captains. I trained him myself. If he's using the Instalink, his situation must be serious.
Wow.
Iraqi, can't you tell me anything? No more than I already have. I too was awakened from a sound sleep. All our answers await us in the war room. Soon. Lilandra, can you see it? We're beaten. No weapons, no power. My crew mostly dead. Ship a ruined, gutted hull. Entity closing. Take my hand, Juber. My captain, my friend. I think this is the end. Iraqi, behind them, that image. And the robot says something unintelligible. I see it, Majesty. Would I were blind. Farewell, Lilandra. Juber. So their destruction is so bright that even on the the screen, the
teleprompter?
Their video calling on, it's like blinding light. Technician, regain contact. Impossible, Majesty. There's nothing out there for us to contact. Juber's ship is gone. Lilandra, that bird image. I recognized it too, old friend. The Phoenix. What we feared from the beginning and prayed we'd never have to face has come to pass. Summon my ministers, Chamberlain. The threat must be dealt with once and for all, no matter what the cost.
Well, yeah.
Those Shi'ar have weird hair, don't they?
They do, but I like them.
Everybody's got the same haircut in that empire.
It's the great equalizer.
And they all have weird mascara.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a part of their skin, or that it's part of their culture to get that tattooed on them?
Oh, yeah, probably the tattoo.
I don't think we've ever seen Thor.
I know,
Hostess.
Against the ice giant, or
he's against the Ricochet monster.
Oh,
yeah, I thought it was an ice giant too. Thy malevolent masters from the outer galaxy hath made thee strong, Ricochet, but now thou dost face the god of living lightning. Oof! Thou art truly well named. Thou dost turn my own strength against me. What did he expect?
Thor.
What I hurl at thee, thou returnest. If we proceed in this fashion, we cannot but a checkmate. Therefore, I will hurl at thee something thou will absorb and keep unto thyself. Hostess fruit pies, apple and cherry. Thy evil masters made thee a creature of force, but knew nothing of the goodness of hostess fruit pies. In truth, thou will keep the light, tender crust and real fruit filling for thyself. My mallet, my mallet sends thee back from whence thou came, and perhaps thy masters too shall fall under the spell of hostess fruit pies.
Cherry used to be my favorite when I was a kid.
I think I've only tried one once. I don't
I
ever
think
see
I
them
bought
in
them for you
stores
guys when you were
anymore.
little.
Yeah, I think I had an apple one if I remember. Earth, specifically a venerable mansion located on Graymalkin Lane, a few miles outside the Westchester County town of Salem Center. Its official title is Professor Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters. In addition, however, quite unknown to the neighbors, it serves as home and headquarters of the X-Men. They've got such a shiny floor.
I know.
Gosh, who's got time to clean that so detailed? So they're all just worried about Cyclops because he's like completely silent, and they're talking about, well, she beat us once. what are we even going to do if we encounter her again? And Beast is saying, well, maybe teamwork will help, and I can whip up some gadgets that could help a bit. And Nightcrawler's like, a bit? He's like, it's better than nothing, okay?
They're on that counter with their feet.
Yeah,
Ugh.
they're like cats. Their bare butts are on I'm just kidding. He's wearing underwear. Scott, what's wrong? It's Phoenix. I can sense her in my mind through the psionic rapport we share. She's returning to Earth and she's hungry.
Oh, shit.
And I think we have the original issue, not the facsimile of the next issue. So maybe we'll have to follow up in a couple of weeks with the conclusion of the Dark Phoenix saga, or at least the next stage of it. But what a cool cover. I think the green background is so cool with her red and yellow. It's a nice contrast. And that's kind of the color she was as Good Phoenix. So it's like
her bursting out,
And yeah, I have to research that. I'll have to pull up a cover gallery of all the Uncanny X-Men. See, is this the first time they destroyed the text and the title? Or is it
mine?
An old trope? Yeah, yours is the Teen Titans Spotlight on the Brotherhood of Evil. Not the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Just the Brotherhood of Evil.
Brotherhood of Evil. This gorilla just really cracks me up.
Is that Gorilla Grodd or a different gorilla?
You will see.
It's weird to see when they use the letterbox thing to give credit. That's kind of a, oftentimes it's either a barcode. I think if you get the newsstand edition, or it's a Spider-Man face or like a Batman silhouette.
Right.
It's the direct edition. So it's interesting to see that and during this period, they were using it to credit the writer and artist.
Yeah.
Even though their names are right there.
Right there, yeah. In
the
much nicer,
anyway.
cooler lettering. So we have this very exciting warlike image. And it really it does reflect what's coming. So that's an interesting.
I do like when villains become heroes. It's kind of like the Suicide Squad thing.
True, yes. It's kind of a trope that, I don't know, it's been used a lot, but it's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
that you can make it interesting. So the time of the crime, a late evening 5 years ago. The scene of the crime, Paris, France, or more precisely, the secret headquarters of the criminal cartel known as the Brotherhood of Evil. The victims of the crime, the evil mastermind known only as the Brain, and his henchman, the super intelligent ape called Monsieur Mala.
That's the Brain, it's not Brainiac?
No, it's the Brain. And it's funny because whenever I see it, I just kind of read it as Brian.
Monsieur Mala?
Yeah, Monsieur
How
Mala.
many super smart gorillas are in the DC
Right.
universe?
But I guess the other one is in the Marvel universe. The other, because remember we saw when they attacked the art gallery and Spider-Man?
Oh yeah, they had the Headman.
Yes, the Headman.
That was a gorilla too, wasn't it? Wasn't it like a person's head on a gorilla's body or something? But yeah, there's Gorilla Grodd. He's a Flash villain too, and he's a talking smart gorilla.
So, and then the next picture, it shows him exploding.
That's
and then,
cool.
Yeah. So, Teen Titans Spotlight on the Brotherhood of Evil. The crime, murder.
What year did this come out?
74? 70?
81.
Or 81, okay.
Yeah, so the year after the one I picked.
So, said the Brotherhood is dead. But are they? Colonel Chavard, are they? So yeah, this is interesting because it takes us to Paris, which is...
Are we getting a flashback then, or?
No, that was a flashback.
Oh. Okay.
And then now we're catching up with the agency, and the Bard said it best: all the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. This is the stage, the Dome, an international organization, the purpose of which is to monitor and what is that? It's kind of blurry.
Coordinate superhero activities.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bold doesn't age well.
It does not. It's all over here. It's a little.
And I got
blurry.
this from a dollar bin, I believe. So
okay.
It's not in super great condition, but for $1.
I know.
It's got no tears. It's got a cover. I'll take it.
It's interesting, yeah. And how could they have survived?
Belphegor?
Belphegor, yes.
I think that's a G. That's
it
hard
is.
to read. Belphegor.
Belphegor.
What a good name.
And so they're discussing, well, I mean,
Doug's
it appears
sister from Doug.
Oh, yeah.
She just needs a little beret or something.
And they're discussing, whether they really are dead. And she's saying, but there is doubt, Colonel. But about your department. What? You recognize this man, don't you? Captain Auguste Toulon? An ambitious man, deadlier than a viper. He was pegged to become Gamma's head man, but I was appointed instead. You're treading dangerous ground, Belfagor. That is such
Belfagor.
Belfagor. That is such a strange name. I meant to look it up to see if there was some tied to some, like Greek or.
It sounds like it. It sounds like a Wonder Woman style name.
Yeah. No, you are, Colonel. According to our information, Toulon and the Brain had an understanding. As long as the Brotherhood committed no major crimes in France and helped Toulon in his undercover operations, they were to be left alone by your department. The dirty, conniving rat, he knew I'd never condone such activities. So, and she's like, well, that's why Toulon manipulated Madame Rogue to get rid of the Brain.
Must
with
be
the brother.
Rouge.
Or, yeah.
Rogue would be G-U-E, I think.
Okay, so Rouge.
Madame Rouge.
Madame Rouge, that
Madame
sounds
Red.
more French, yeah. I'm not familiar
What's
with
all
all
these
of these.
French villains?
I know it. This totally threw me. It's like I don't remember ever reading, another country other than
Maybe
World
the
War.
Teen Titans were popular in France or something. They were just
It
trying to
could've
throw them a
been.
bone.
And with the Brotherhood gone, the evidence was too.
That's a funny facial expression. Does he have he has like bandoleros, bullets,
bullets.
and his belt. He's got so many bullets.
You realize my hands are tied. Toulon has many powerful friends. I know. Yet there is a way. As I hinted earlier, the dome has proof that the Brain and Mullah are still alive. And this is an interesting panel. It says they
that's
hid
cool.
safely in an underground chamber, and 2 lifelike substitutions were blown up in their place. And then you flip it.
Yeah, what a weird
Isn't that odd?
layout. I wonder if that's supposed to be like the TV screens that they're seeing or something, a way to explain
Oh,
it. But yeah, that's such a
interesting.
weird panel layout. You don't see
It's
that
really
very
creative.
much.
No, I've never seen that. So he has already enlisted a young Englishwoman, Angela Hankins, whom he is christened.
I would almost
Sorry.
expect this weird thing to be a
Phobia.
big blow up, like a splash page.
Yes.
It's funny that it's so small, but it's so unique as well.
Yes. So basically, the Dome is talking about how, they were murdered as a cover-up, and they have proof that they're back, and they have a new member, Phobia. And he's like, well, why are you telling us this, or telling me all of this? Because you're going to leak this information to Captain Toulon. Once he learns that the Brain is alive, he'll feel compelled for his own safety to finish the job he started. So they're using the bad guy or the sneaky guy to kill their enemies, basically.
Oh, okay.
Is what they're
Why
doing.
does she wear sunglasses at night?
Inside, yeah.
Yeah, indoors.
And he says, and do something foolish, huh? Very foolish. We will help him, of course. We? You don't think I'm alone in this, do you? Then we have this jaunty fellow
Whoa.
in a bucket hat coming from the back. And Saint-Tropez, jewel of the French Riviera. Also, the home of one Emile Lassalle, a man known to European law enforcement agencies as Warp. Think of all the Brotherhood can offer you. So the Brotherhood is alive, and they do have their new member, and they have gone to convince Warp to join their cause. And he goes, I'm retired now, Brain. I don't know what you think, why you track me down, but you're wasting my time. Look around you. I have more money than I can spend. But what about revenge? Revenge against those who opposed you in the past. Fleur-de-lis, Phantasmo. There's no money in revenge, Brain.
That's funny that the supervillain is retired and has more money than he got away with it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, let him be.
You see that too often. They're usually they're retired, but the times are hard, and that's what Makes him go back
That-
to supervillainy.
Right, like the Rhino. He's always,
Yeah.
like his. But
I like this Dr. Fate ad too.
Yeah.
That looks cool. I always liked his character design.
so Mala is like, "Do you want me to help convince him, Master?" Yes, Brain. I always read it as Brian because it just looks funnier. Let him taste the sour nectar of fear, and he will beg to join us. Have a care, Ape, and you too, British lady. I can send both of you to the bottom of the sea with just a thought.
Wow.
Yes, it is the Brotherhood. Squadron leader, are you men ready to attack? This guy is more than ready.
He's ready.
Wait for your signal, Captain. Remember, total physical elimination of all targets. This is really cool.
Yeah, I like that art style. It almost reminds me of the Hellboy artist, Mike Mignola. The
Oh,
style
yeah. That is a very
Those-
high-waisted
Yeah,
underpants.
those high-waisted underpants and the weird, exaggerated
Oh,
glove
yeah.
openings. They're so wide.
I'd love to see a really well-made movie about Dr. Fate.
Okay, it's J.M.D. Mateus, so I recognize he's the writer. Keith Giffen and Dave Hunt. So yeah, it's not Mignola, but it looks kind of reminiscent of that style.
It's only a 4-issue miniseries, so that might be fun to try to track down.
Yeah, I always like a short miniseries that you can kind of easily own the whole thing.
So now,
Look at that haircut. You went to the Shi'ar
Oh, yeah, you
barber
did.
shop, I think.
give me the Shi'ar, but make it go south
Captain
instead of north.
Gluten-Free. Can
Oh,
sap
that's
the glutens
funny.
out of anything.
So before you judge Captain Toulon, ask yourself who he is, a man of intrigue. In his world, there may be those who are reprehensible, but those responsible, but those are none who are, but there are none who are guilty.
Oh God!
So he
look
uses
at
it.
that.
I know. This is a great splash page of. So I love how the ape is just ready to just fire on everybody.
He's carrying around all those bullets. He might as well use them.
Yeah, he's not afraid to use them. And she's using her powers on their brains. And brain, you fool! What have you dragged me into? And they're kind of getting whipped. And Phobia, she's been hit. We're outnumbered, brain. Let's get out of here. You're a coward, Warp. He loves fighting. But, yeah, Phobia has been hit. So, Warp puts on his helmet.
Oh, that's who Warp is, the guy with the weird armadillo-looking cowl.
Yes.
That's goofy looking.
Yes.
I'd retire too if that was my costume.
Well, he goes to warp them too, because he can warp them anywhere. It's kind of like,
It's like a
Nightcrawler.
teleporter.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we cut to this time. I'm rid of them for good. At last, the Brotherhood is dead. Toulon used the weapon our agent gave him. There are others
teleporting
who.
as an evil power is way scarier than as a
Oh,
helpful. Because
yeah, it
Nightcrawler
is.
is mostly teleporting to get people to safety or to avoid an enemy. But like he said, he could just teleport you to the bottom of the sea or something. Ugh.
Yeah, that's horrendous.
It's easier to use it for evil. Kill
Yes.
people, I think.
So they set him up. It all seems to proceed according to your plan, sir. Yes, it has begun. So they reappear here in a battle. So they just left a battle into this other battle.
Oh,
They're like,
God.
what the heck? And this weapon that was used on him just as he used his power sent him there. And this guy comes out riding on this weird tiger, I don't know, weird animal.
Yeah.
And he goes, I don't see any water. And he doesn't look like a sailor I've ever seen. Mala is right. Warp, wherever we are, we must get back to France. Because he's like, I was just going to go down to the water. I can't seem to get the references right. So whatever device they used on him when he warped changed his brain. He cannot remember I guess he needs to be able to think of the exact place to get you there.
That makes sense to make sure to be like precise about it and be able
Right.
to visualize it.
And so Mala just comes up with his fist. Can't remember. And the brain's like, could you continue this conversation later? We have more pressing matters at hand.
His breath must be nasty.
Oh, you know it. It's like defending ourselves from the horde of degenerate scum. She's very British. I don't know where you come from or who sent you, but you couldn't have arrived at a better time. It looks to me like you need some help, little man. He's just ready. He just starts fighting he's punching his way.
Where does Gon go?
Oh,
he's carrying around all those bullets and he's just punching people.
Well, he might enjoy that more. Mala, Tin, watch out. I guess you've got
Your uses
your
after
uses
all. Warp.
after all. Warp. Yeah, so he does help a little bit since we seem to be working as a team. Let Phobia show you how to deal with this rabble. So she unleashes her powers on their brains. This is a famous issue.
Die.
Willie?
Probably.
I think he does. The thunk. They're fleeing. We've won. How can I ever thank you, my friends? And I'm wondering about this when I saw it, because his name is Tin. His hair has that little flip. Isn't there some character? But anyway, you may just have helped save the last chance
Like
of this
Tintin?
doom planet.
Is that
Yes,
anything?
yes, Tintin.
He's the dystopian Tintin.
I know. Because doomed, I don't like the sound of this, Mala. Me either, Tin. I like how
It's a weird facial expression.
It is. What you see around me, Brotherhood, are the last remnants of our civilization. And I, Tim, am the leader of this army that I call Second Chance.
I guess it is some kind of tiger or wolf or something.
Yeah.
It looks weird in the other panels.
Scales on his legs. Second Chance, you mean, yes, this is the end of the world. So they go on to build a fire, and I understand your flight, my friends, but if you cannot leave this planet, you must join us, otherwise you are doomed, as is the rest of the world. This is my friend, the captain. He'll tell you our story. He was always the best at telling stories, weren't you, Captain? Thank you, my boy. Make yourself comfortable, laddies, for ours is not a pleasant tale. It makes my mouth dry just to think about it. What you've seen today is what the war made of us. And see?
He does look more like Tintin.
Yeah, and that looks like the captain dude that he's always...
That's crazy.
Before we were among the best this world had to offer. Foremost among us was our friend, the professor, the most brilliant scientist of his time. In the early 1950s, the professor designed a revolutionary atomic engine that enabled a small Western European country to launch the first expedition to the moon. We landed on the moon in 1952. They're like, what? We became heroes, the first men to set foot on another world. We were all drunk with joy. Things started getting worse after that. The new space technology caused the conflicts of a world living in the shadow of the Cold War to deteriorate even further. First, the professor was kidnapped by the Eastern Bloc. Of course, he was rescued. We rescued him. Then the West destroyed or prepared to use satellite lasers to destroy China if they didn't pull out of Tibet. So the wars just kept escalating. The U.S. finally made it onto the moon, and it came on to nuclear warfare, which created all these mutants. And just before the war, Minos, our longtime foe, kidnapped the professor and forced him to work on a huge space ark. He and a secret council of generals and businessmen, of course, because else are you going to save, planned to use it to flee the planet, which they were helping to destroy. And so they went to war, and that's who they helped to battle. And so they're like, well, we can't stay here, but I can't remember how to get out of here. And they're talking amongst themselves, well, we have to help these guys, but we have to help ourselves. And so they make their way to the ark.
Ooh, he doesn't have enough teeth. Like, they need
Yeah.
to be a few more in there.
Yeah. Says, boy, everything sure looks different than the Saint Tropez I know. This isn't Earth, fool. It's like, woo, sassy. What do you have in mind, Tin? Do you want us to lay siege, or are we going to sneak inside? So they're thinking that they can use the professor's computer system to help jog his memory. So to help, because they helped with the war, they'd help him get back.
Okay.
So, okay, this is it. Let's get ready to attack. And see, when you see him in profile like that, there has to be Tintin. But it doesn't go on to explain that it is.
I wonder if they keep it just vague enough for copyright reasons or something.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
enough similarities to give a little nod to it, but
So some of the men whom you see here were once heroes. Others were villains. But on this day, for this fight, there is no longer any difference between them.
geez, he's like jamming that rifle through the
We're-
guy's guts and shooting it.
That's
Kinda
cold.
brutal.
In this fight, one thing really matters. Survival.
That's a cool splash page.
It even has warp using.
Yeah, you think he'd
A
hold
gun.
on to the handle there.
You'd think he'd like work people around, like even behind the place.
Yeah.
He goes, onward, half wolf, onward. We're cutting him down like grass, Tin. We may be mowing him down like paper mache, but we still have to get inside the citadel. That's where the Ark is. Do not worry, Captain. We will succeed. Phobia, follow my directions. They even have an elephant with razor sharp claws. I hear you, brain.
Yeah, he's got spikes on his back too.
Ooh, yeah.
And look at those. He's got like little maces,
Ooh,
like spike balls on his tail.
that would be handy. These mongrels will rue the day their paths cross that of the Brotherhood. Perhaps, but Minos is still well barricaded inside his fortress. We'll never get through these gates. Trust the brain, Tin. He has a plan. That's it. Warp has succeeded in opening the gates from inside. Come on, let's teach these clowns a lesson. Your plan worked, Brain. The citadel is ours. Of course it worked. That's why I'm called the Brain. Let me through. Minos and I have a score to settle. So Tin is gonna go in. And his foe is like this cowboy
What?
dude. Like this oil man. And he goes, it's over, Minos.
He's
We've
got
won.
an eye patch, but there's no straps on it. It's
Yeah.
like an eye patch monocle.
And we've won. The Ark is ours. What does it matter now, Tin? My hatred will follow you even to the stars.
It almost looks. Did somebody just draw that on with pen?
I don't think so, because it's here.
Yeah, it's too consistent.
It's
But
here.
that panel, it looks like the ink still wet or something.
It
The rest,
does.
it doesn't.
It does.
weird.
Because you're evil, Minos. With your great resources, we could have worked together to save this world. It's very cartoony, too, the way that
Yeah.
you're a fine one to call me evil. You and your friend, the professor, are the ones who brought the destruction of this planet upon us all. You must be mad. Mad! You gave us the stars before we were ready for them. Then you went back to the quiet sanctuary of your Belgian estate. And isn't Tintin?
I think so. Wow, what a weird idea.
So it's like, is this a weird
Tintin
side world
crossover.
or weird? Yeah. But I won't let you escape this time. If I can leave this dying world, then no. If I can't, then no one will. I'll destroy the Ark and we'll all die together. No! He's doing this
Oh
little,
God, they shoot him.
with his cigar in his hand, he's doing this little shuffle, spinning around. But then here he is, the hero with the gun.
Mercy is always a mistake, he says.
I love rat-tat-tat. You should have killed him long ago. I don't know. Centurions.
Witness the merging of man and machine.
Huh, I don't remember those toys.
They look vaguely familiar. I wonder
So-
if they had a comic series.
The
It's just a
miniseries,
toy. Oh,
yeah.
there it is, yeah.
Tin, look who I found. Professor, Tin! This is very strange. The planet threatens to explode any minute now. You've got to have our people aboard the Ark right away. It's ready to leave. I'll take care of that. And so he introduces the professor to the Brotherhood, and they explain their dilemma to him. He goes, "You could all come with us. That is very kind of you, but no, I don't think we would fit in. I'm afraid Warp is right. This is our only way." So they use psych to go into his brain, which does some horrific things. He's like, "I never want to go through that again. You hear me? Never."
Yikes.
But has it worked? Has it? Yes, it has. I feel it. But I need some time. I can't make a jump now. Hurry, Tin. We're all ready except for you and the professor. But if what Mino said is true, I don't know if I have the right to go with you. Perhaps it would be better if I'm not there to destroy the new world. And Mullah just hits him in the head, hands him over to the captain.
Oh gosh.
And they take him into the Ark. And the destruction outside is increasing. If we do not succeed soon, it'll be too late for all of us. This is so different. But I can do it. And it shows them all getting ready. The Ark takes off, the planet blows up. Does
That's a cool
it
panel.
work? It is. And cut back to the same point in time. And she goes, "That's it. They've escaped, sir. I can see them." I think she's some sort of like psychic, or she's got some psychic or visionary abilities. But we're not through yet, Belphegor. Yeah. Belphegor, thank you. Tin and his friends may be safely gone, but there are other matters yet unsolved. You mean the Brotherhood? I lost track of them when they warped out. I didn't. And do you realize we're like acrobats, Belphegor? Sir, to maintain a precarious balance, we must often offset good deeds with bad ones. If you are wondering to what
What Dr. Must refers. Dr. Mist refers.
Yes, sorry.
You're about to find out.
And we have, good evening, Captain. It hasn't been easy getting back, Captain. But we made it in one piece. A shame the same wouldn't be said about you, little man. He's just standing there. Arr! The people at the cafes turn. The Pierre Lachaise is Paris's most remarkable cemetery. It was erected in 1804, and many famous writers, politicians, and yes, even movie stars shared death in a peaceful cohabitation that they never could have achieved when they were alive. All of us will remember that Captain Auguste Toulon was a man of unshakable dedication who always did whatever he thought was necessary to get the job done. For his brave services to France, the minister posthumously named Captain Toulon Knight of the Legion of d'Honneur. I wish it had been my privilege to once more say to him, the French have always been supreme at turning live traitors into dead heroes. Better that than turning live heroes into dead traitors, like our Eastern friends. I wonder who they're referring to there. I suppose you do have a point. Shall we go back to the dome? Yes, but I'd like to put some flowers on the tomb of Simon Le Sieur first. Simon Le Sieur, the Templar knight, you remember? Oh yes, I do, now. You see, Belphegor, even evil has its uses. It is often a better surgeon than good. Without the Brotherhood's unwitting assistance, Tin and his friends would have perished. Perished. Another light would have gone out in a universe that much needs it. Why didn't we use the Global Guardian, sir? Certainly, the magnitude of the crisis warranted their involvement. The good general does not waste his elite troops on suicide missions. Besides, who would you have sent? The huntsman, jack-o'-lantern, fleur-de-lis, and who else but the Brotherhood had the power and the ruthlessness to help Tin? No, they were ideal for the job. Besides, frankly, my dear, I don't think they would have made it back. Yeah, I didn't think they would have either. I
Yeah.
did want to help Tin and his friends get their second chance, and I wanted to get rid of the late Captain Toulon before he could endanger our friend Andre. But I also thought we would rid ourselves of the new Brotherhood before they could sprout more evil roots. You failed, Dr. Miss. The Brotherhood still lives. Well, 2 out of 3 isn't bad. Not bad at all. So yeah, it was one of those. This is a crazy.
Weird. What is that little guy?
They're ugly balls.
Okay.
I don't.
Captain Clueless in pursuit of the scary bouncing ugly balls. Dare to order bonkers, scary bouncing ugly balls.
I can't believe my mom didn't buy some of those. You know, but I guess I don't know. Crazy. An American Defense.
It's like a ripoff of G.I. Joe, I guess. Got Scuba Man, Karate Man.
Kmart.
Mmm.
So they must have been the
Scuba
Kmart
Man.
brand of great American heroes.
Gotta take that 99-cent sticker off.
Yeah, but there you
That was a
go.
cool couple of 80s comics.
I totally do not have any memory of reading about the Brotherhood of Evil and
Me
and
neither.
stuff.
I'm glad I picked that up. I just got it for the cover, honestly.
yeah, no, it's
I
great
never
art.
expected Tintin to be in it.
I know,
That was
it's
really
odd.
weird.
It was odd.
All right, so if you enjoyed watching this, give us a like, and we'd love to hear your comments and subscribe to our channel. And thanks for watching.